Hello, Chiara Finocchietti, President of ENIC-NARIC Network, and Luca Lantero, President of the Lisbon Recognition Convention Committee. Thank you for being here with us today. Was it a difficult morning until now?
Yes, a little bit, because we are here to follow the Bologna process and to create the communique of the ministers for the Tirana meeting, the next meeting, that give also the inspiration for the next period of work of the European higher education area.
Yes. Tell me, the Lisbon Recognition Convention is the only legally binding document that operates within the EHEA. Can you explain why is that?
It's the only legal binding document because the European Commission, first of all, doesn't have a main role on recognition of academic qualification. Countries decide during the 50s to take that responsibility by themselves at EU level. But the Lisbon Recognition Convention is ratified by 55 countries. It means that there are more than European Union countries. And it was the first text pretty innovative in 1997, and it's so innovative that it's also good today, because the main point is that they established the fact that the recognition of fair recognition became a personal right. And if you start from that point, you can see that if I'm holder of a qualification, I have a right to be evaluated in a fair way, and to access to courses, to other to higher education institution, to a job position, etc., in a very quick, fair, and transparent way.
Right. Could you explain to us, please, what is the main focus of your organization?
So, as Luca said, the Lisbon Recognition Convention is the international convention regulating recognition in the European higher education area, and but we know that laws need implementation, and it's structure that implement the legislation and regulation. So there are in Europe, there are ENIC-NARIC networks. They are the centers that take care of giving information on recognition and let's say, ensuring that the principle of the Lisbon Recognition Convention became reality. So supporting students, staff, academic staff, higher education institution to make the principle of Lisbon Recognition Convention work in practice. And I would also like to say that this is a system effort. So, I mean, the ENIC-NARIC Center, the National Information Center on Recognition do their part, but this is, I mean, to have the recognition work, the recognition system work, we need a system-level approach with national authorities, higher education institutions, students, all the actors of the system being involved in this effort.
And are there several models of recognition?
Well, there are the principle of recognition, and those are shared, but of course there are many different ways to implement them, many different regulations, but this is exactly why we are working together in the ENIC-NARIC network and also in the Bologna process to exchange practices, to mutually learn from each other and building trust, knowledge and understanding of our different systems to improve, at the end of the day, academic mobility and to give the possibility to people to move freely and to, as the preamble of the Lisbon Recognition Convention say, to really take benefit of the richness of Europe, of the cultural richness of Europe.
And how does the recognition work? Is it automatic, or how does it practically happen?
So the recognition is made. The recognition process is different in the different European countries. In many of the countries, it's up to higher education institutions. So for this, it's very important that we build mutual understanding and we share principle and sound waves of implementing. And of course, on this, on building this, after many years of Lisbon Recognition Convention, we can look forward and work on a recognition that is as automatic as possible, now that we understand the value of the qualification we have in the European space.
Could you tell me, please, which are the main provisions of the Lisbon Recognition Convention?
The first point, as I said, is the right of recognition. And then from that principle became the other ones. It means that the first one is transparency. Now people have to know in advance methodologies applied by national centers and countries, information about the recognition procedures, information about documents they have to present, not to go everywhere and spend a lot of money to have stamps, signature, etc. No, also because today, thanks to digitalization, is something that we can use also, for example, in our country, but in other countries we developed a blockchain system in order to help people to directly, and institutions as well, to directly verify, certify the authenticity. Then there is a concept that is called the substantial difference. What does it mean? A country cannot accept a qualification coming from abroad if there is a difference that is not only a normal difference, like 1 year left or something, but have to be substantial. The only problem is that the Lisbon Recognition Convention doesn't list what are substantial or not. But thanks to the work of ENIC-NARIC centers, after 40 years, because for the NARIC this year we celebrate the 40 years, so 40 years of experience, we have all the list and all the practices that we use. There is also another point very interesting to underline. Historically, NARIC centers in the European Union started in 1984, 3 years before the Erasmus, 1987. It means that we recognize that without recognition, it's impossible the mobility. And this is something, an experience of everyone. Also, everyone can go abroad also for a study period and come back, know that it's important to have a recognition of what they learn abroad. And also it's very important today to underline the fact that the qualification is something that officially certified learning outcomes. So it's not only a piece of paper, it's something that recognizes what you are able to do. This is the reason why we create that motto in our organization. We not recognize pieces of paper, we recognize pieces of life of people.
That's very nice, but I wanted to ask you, what would you say would be the biggest challenges we face ahead of us? If you're looking back on all those years, what that changed so many things in higher education, can we maybe blueprint the future somehow? What would you say would be really, really difficult?
Well, really difficult, let's see. I would say that we are raising our level of ambition, let's say, after so many years of supporting mobility in the European region. So probably we are looking forward to expanding recognition to flexible learning pathways, micro-credential, recognition of prior learning, non-formal learning. So we are enlarging the scope of recognition. The other challenge that still remain is always to ensure ethics and integrity and to counter education fraud. This is still a point. And the last challenge, I would say, to continue to support the role of recognition as a way to enable mobility, and in this way to contribute to mutual understanding and building a culture of cooperation and peace. And on this, I mean, we can also say that the ENIC-NARIC network and the Lisbon Recognition Convention is an history of success, because we have also the experience of, for instance, supporting recognition of refugees without educational documentation. So we have some success story behind us, and we need to, let's say, look to the future with these challenges in front of us.
The same question for you, please. What would you say is the biggest challenge ahead of us?
There are some, I think that the biggest one is to, at the end, change the cultural approach on recognition. Of course, as Chiara said, we can have a perfect law, perfect legislation in our countries, but without a practice, a cultural approach, a recognition approach on the fact that, of course, you cannot probably follow the same exam or same educational path in one institution or another, but maybe you can achieve the same goals and learning outcomes, etc., is something that need also time right now, because it's, of course, to recognize something, create an impact, of course, to the person, but also to the society. So it's very important and sensitive issue. But we have to change the idea, first of all, for the recognition procedure that are more today more quick, also because I need to know if I'm accepted in university or not very quickly, because I have a lot of possibilities. And so to attract also for higher education institution genuine students and good students, you have to answer them pretty quickly. The other challenge, I think, is also an investment in those kind of issues for training and activities, and recognize the professional credential evaluators within higher education institutions. Sometimes we know that in countries, but also in higher education institutions, there are few people that evaluate those qualifications. They receive a lot of requests to enter in our institution. Also because, according to the UNESCO data, in 2050, the growth of requests to enter in higher education is 23% in Europe. And for the other region in the world is more than 150%. It means that our higher education institution, to survive, have to go outside Europe and to find good students that want to study in Europe. Also to grow other regions, to have interconnection for the benefit of our economy. So it's something that is a pretty the main challenge, to change that kind of mentality, create those kind of instruments in a collaborative way.
Thank you so much for speaking to us today, and I wish you a good day while you go back to the meetings. Thank you so much.
Thanks a million to you.